Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something most people don't want to hear. Hard work is boring. It's not exciting. It doesn't feel good most days. And that's exactly why most people quit. Everyone loves the idea of success. They love the highlight reel. They love the applause, the money, the respect, but the actual work, the daily grind, the repetition, the silence, nobody posts that part. Nobody celebrates that part. You wake up early. You do the same thing again. You don't see results. You still do it tomorrow. That's boring. And in a world addicted to entertainment, boredom feels like failure. People don't quit because they're not talented. They quit because they expect hard work to feel exciting. They expect passion every day. They expect motivation to show up like magic. And when it doesn't, they assume something is wrong. Nothing is wrong. That's just the process. The truth is, most people want the result without respecting the time it takes. They want year 10 success in year 1 effort. And when reality hits, they panic. They switch goals, they switch strategies, they quit, not because they can't do it, but because they're uncomfortable being bored. Here's the real game: consistency, not motivation, not inspiration. Consistency, showing up when it's boring, working when nobody's watching, doing the same unsexy thing again and again. That's where the separation happens. Boredom is the entry fee. If you can't pay it, you don't get in. And let me be clear, hard work doesn't mean burnout. It means patience. It means understanding that progress is slow. It means being okay with not being special yet. The people who win, they don't wait to feel inspired. They build habits so strong that feelings don't matter. They fall in love with the process, not the applause. They respect time. They play the long game. Hard work isn't sexy, and that's the part most people struggle to accept. We live in a world that celebrates instant wins, viral moments, and overnight success stories. Social media shows the highlight, not the hours. It shows the result, not the routine. Because of that, people start believing that real progress should feel exciting, visible, and rewarding all the time. When it doesn't, they assume they're doing something wrong. In reality, they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. Real hard work is quiet. It's repetitive. It's doing the same task again and again with no guarantee that today will be different from yesterday. There are no cameras, no applause, no comments telling you you're on the right path. It's waking up early when you don't feel like it, staying focused when distractions are everywhere, and showing up even when the results are invisible. That kind of work doesn't trend, so people underestimate its power. The problem is not that hard work is difficult. The problem is that it doesn't provide constant emotional rewards. Human beings love stimulation. We want feedback, recognition, and quick proof that our effort matters. Hard work often gives none of that in the beginning. You put in effort today, and nothing changes tomorrow. That gap between effort and reward feels uncomfortable, and most people mistake that discomfort for failure. Because hard work isn't exciting, people start chasing things that feel productive instead of things that actually build progress. They jump from strategy to strategy, idea to idea, hoping to find something more fun, more motivating, or more visible. They confuse movement with progress. Meanwhile, the people who are willing to stay in the boring part are slowly building skills, discipline, and momentum that compounds over time. The truth is, anything meaningful requires a long period of unglamorous effort. Every successful outcome has a phase where it looks ordinary, slow, and unimpressive from the outside. The people who understand this don't need constant excitement to keep going. They accept boredom as part of the deal. They don't wait for passion to save them. They rely on habits and commitment. While others quit because it doesn't feel exciting anymore, they continue doing the work that no one sees, and that's exactly why their results eventually become impossible to ignore. People quit because they are addicted to fast results, even if they don't realize it. We are surrounded by stories that make success look instant. Viral videos, sudden fame, quick money, and overnight transformations. When this becomes the standard in people's minds, anything that takes time starts to feel like a waste. The moment progress slows down or results don't show up quickly, Doubt creeps in, and quitting feels like a logical choice rather than a weakness. This addiction to speed changes how people judge their own effort. Instead of asking, "Am I improving?" they ask, "Is this working yet?" If the answer isn't an immediate yes, they panic. They stop trusting the process and start chasing shortcuts. They switch goals, change directions, or give up completely, not because the path is wrong, but because it doesn't reward them fast enough. Patience has become rare, and without patience, nothing meaningful survives. Fast results also create unrealistic expectations. People start believing that effort should be directly and immediately rewarded. They think 1 month of work should bring massive change, 1 attempt should lead to success, and 1 failure means it's over. When reality doesn't match these expectations, frustration builds. Instead of adjusting their mindset, they blame the work, the market, the timing, or themselves. Quitting becomes a way to escape that frustration. The dangerous part is that fast results often teach the wrong lesson. When something comes quickly, it doesn't build resilience, discipline, or self-trust. Slow progress, on the other hand, forces you to develop skills and mental strength. But because the payoff is delayed, most people never stay long enough to benefit from it. They trade long-term growth for short-term comfort. Those who break free from this addiction understand that real progress is gradual and often invisible at first. They don't measure success by how fast something happens, but by how consistently they show up. They accept that the work they do today might only make sense months or years later. While others quit because results aren't coming fast enough, they stay committed, knowing that anything worth having takes time to earn and even longer to fully appreciate. Most people rely on motivation to get started, but motivation is unstable. It shows up when things feel exciting and disappears the moment things get hard, boring, or uncomfortable. If your progress depends on how motivated you feel, your results will always be inconsistent. Some days you'll work hard, other days you'll do nothing. And over time, that inconsistency kills momentum. This is why so many people start strong and fade out just as quickly. Discipline and consistency work differently. They don't ask how you feel, they ask what needs to be done. Consistency is about creating a routine that runs even when your emotions don't cooperate. You show up not because you're inspired, but because it's who you are and what you've committed to. This removes the daily decision-making that drains energy and creates excuses. When work becomes a habit, it stops feeling like a constant battle. Motivation is often driven by external factors, praise, recognition, or visible results. When those things disappear, so does the drive. Consistency, on the other hand, is internal. It's built on standards and self-respect. You do the work because skipping it feels worse than doing it. Over time, this builds trust with yourself. And that self-trust becomes more powerful than any motivational speech or temporary burst of energy. The people who succeed don't wait to feel ready or inspired. They understand that action creates motivation, not the other way around. Once you start moving, even slowly, your brain catches up. Progress fuels confidence, and confidence fuels more action. This cycle only works if you keep showing up, especially on the days when nothing feels exciting. Consistency also allows improvement to compound. Small actions repeated daily become skills, habits, and results that are impossible to achieve through occasional intense effort. While others burn out chasing motivation, consistent people quietly build an edge over time. They don't win because they're more talented or more excited. They win because they stay in the game long after motivation has left the room. Boredom is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that you are deep in the process. Most meaningful work reaches a stage where excitement fades and routine takes over. The learning curve slows down, the novelty disappears, and days start to feel similar. This is the point where most people get uncomfortable, because boredom feels like stagnation. They assume if it doesn't feel exciting anymore, it must not be working. In reality, boredom is the price you pay for long-term success. It's the space where repetition turns into mastery. When you do the same work over and over without emotional highs, you're building discipline, focus, and patience. These traits don't develop during exciting moments, they develop during dull ones. The ability to stay engaged when nothing dramatic is happening is what separates those who last from those who leave early. People often underestimate how much boredom is involved in achievement. They imagine success as constant progress and visible improvement, but real growth is uneven. There are long stretches where effort doesn't produce obvious change. During these stretches, boredom becomes a test, not a skill, but of commitment. Can you keep going when the work no longer entertains you? Those who quit are usually not beaten by difficulty, but by monotony. The work isn't too hard, it's just not stimulating enough. There's no rush, no immediate reward, no feeling of being special. Enduring this phase requires emotional maturity, the ability to delay gratification and trust that repetition is doing something beneath the surface. People who accept boredom stop fighting it. They don't look for constant excitement or reassurance. They focus on execution, not feelings. Over time, what once felt dull becomes familiar, and familiarity brings confidence. Boredom turns into calm, and calm allows better decisions, cleaner work, and sustained effort. Long-term success doesn't belong to the most talented or the most passionate. It belongs to those who can sit in boredom without panicking. They understand that excitement is temporary, but progress is permanent. While others leave because the journey feels too quiet, they stay, pay the price, and earn results that only patience can produce. Most people focus on the outcome because it feels rewarding. The idea of success, recognition, money, or status is exciting, and it gives them a reason to start. But when the outcome becomes the only source of motivation, the journey turns into a burden. Every delay feels like failure. Every obstacle feels unfair, and every slow day feels pointless. This mindset makes people impatient and emotionally fragile because their happiness depends on something that hasn't happened yet. Winners think differently. They shift their attention from the result to the process. Instead of asking, "When will I win?" they ask, "Am I doing the work right today?" They find satisfaction in execution, improvement, and effort. This doesn't mean they don't care about results. It means they don't let results control their emotions. By enjoying the process, they remove pressure and stay consistent for much longer. Falling in love with the process changes how work feels. The routine stops being a sacrifice and starts becoming part of identity. The grind becomes familiar instead of painful. When you enjoy showing up, learning, and getting a little better every day, you no longer need constant validation. You don't panic when progress is slow because the work itself feels valuable. This mindset also builds resilience. When outcomes are the only goal, failure hits harder. But when the process is the focus, failure becomes feedback. You don't quit because something didn't work, you adjust and keep moving. The process gives you control, while outcomes are influenced by timing, luck, and external factors. Focusing on what you can control keeps you grounded and confident. People who love the process last longer, learn faster, and improve deeper. Over time, results show up as a side effect, not the obsession. While others burn out chasing applause and external rewards, these individuals stay calm, steady, and committed. They win not because they were desperate for the outcome, but because they respected the work required to get there and found meaning in doing it every single day. Hard work is boring, and that's the truth most people run from, but boredom isn't the enemy, it's the filter. The ones who quit are looking for excitement, fast results, and constant motivation. The ones who win accept repetition, stay consistent, and fall in love with the process. When you stop chasing quick rewards and start respecting time, discipline, and patience, the work stops breaking you and starts building you. Stay long enough in the boring days, and one day the results will speak louder than anything you ever said. Thank you.